Good evening, everybody. As I promised, I'm gonna show you all today how to why you can fill out a 10. I'll show you today, this evening rather, while it's illegal to file 1041s. I promise you I would do so. So let's get straight to it. So I have an affidavit that I'm going to read to you, and an affidavit is a statement of truth. You say, what does that mean? That means that every single thing I'm about to tell you is 100% true, and that it cannot be trumped, and that it cannot be denied, and that if you do business this way, then you are the one that's in control. If you don't have my book, Control Everything, Own Nothing, I highly recommend that you get my book. So if you don't have my book, I'll put control in the chat, the word control, and have that book sent to you, and I would read it. All right. The way that we live, in fact, we're having a conference called the Control Conference. I'll let you all know where you can come meet us in person. And we're going to teach you a lot of my friends are going to be there who live like I live. We are all up under control of our assets. Nobody controls the way that we do business and the commerce. The IRS doesn't control us. The United States Corporation of America does not control us. The banking system does not control us. We were never meant to be up under control of we were never meant to be up under control of tyrants and under control of dictators. The United States was created as a republic, not a democracy. So when you hear words like be glad that you're part of a democracy, now don't be glad you're part of a democracy, because a democracy is mob rule. There are two Americas that are taking place in America right now as we speak. We have the American people, and then we have the United States Corporation of America. Don't get it twisted. That corporation is a democracy. The people, we are a republic. Hey, listen to me. So I'm about to read you an affidavit written by a genius that works with me, who helps create our common law, tax-free, tax credit producing, irrevocable asset protection trust. I'm about to read you an affidavit that was created by the genius that works with me. Okay. I have several geniuses that work with me, but I have one whose affidavit I'm about to quote. These true statements. We've been studying common law. We have over 100 years worth of experience between myself and my team. And we've been studying common law like the way I study the Bible, because the Bible and the Constitution, when you put them both together, that's common law. All right. And you can make and you can have money that nobody can control. All right. Nobody can control. All right. So let's go into this affidavit. So affidavit is a statement of truth. So the first thing I want you to put down is S-O-T. S-O-T. Put that in the chat. All right. An affidavit is a statement of truth. All right. S-O-T. Everybody put S-O-T in the chat. Let's get started. S-O-T. All right. Put it in the chat. S-O-T. Yeah, put it in the chat. Let's get going. So a statement of truth is what I'm going to teach you all. All right. Record this if you can. I don't know if y'all can record. I don't know if y'all can rewatch it again on TikTok. I don't think it does. But for those of you all who are listening on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, you all watch this again, because I'm going to leave it up. And I want y'all to teach our families this video tonight. Teach them what an affidavit is. It's a statement of truth. There's nothing higher than the truth. The truth is the apex of life. There's nothing higher. And when it comes down to making money, when you know the truth and you operate out the truth, nobody can control you. Okay? So not D-O-T, Devin, S-O-T. S-O-T? Okay. All right, so let me read you the first statement of this affidavit, okay? All right. All right, so this is number one. On June 5th, 1933, Congress passed H.J.R. 192, granting people the right to set off debt obligations as consideration for transferring gold and property. Since then, no actual money is circulated to repay debts. All currency is credit backed by the wealth and assets of the private American citizens, pledged by the United States as security to its secondary creditor. All right, so let me explain what that means. All right, so number one, first in your notes, the first thing what you write down is that all currency is credit. All right. All currency is credit. All right. All right. So credit equals currency. Everybody put that in the chat. Credit equals currency. Everybody got that? Until I see y'all put it in, I'm not going to teach you nothing else because the whole point of me talking to you is so y'all can actually go do something about your situation. All right. So credit equals currency. Everybody put it in the chat. Credit equals currency. All right. I'm not in no hurry. I'm not going to rush y'all. I want y'all to listen. This is a teaching lesson. All right. So credit equals currency. Y'all got that? All right. I'm putting it in here too. All right. Y'all got it? Credit equals currency. Y'all got it over there? All right. That's right. Dream of truth. Dream, extreme dream truth. Sorry. That's right. All right. The white. That's right. All right. Black Mama. That's correct. Okay. Jay. That's correct. Jay. That's right. Levon. That's right. All right. Motivation. That's correct. All right. Mauve. All right. Edward. That's right. Okay. So credit equals currency. So what does that mean? That means that unless you reposit money as a creditor, you'll never have the wealth of this money that's inside of your fund, your Sesta K account. All right, because your Sesta K account is credit. You really, it's not these dollar bills that you see. They are Federal Reserve notes. Okay, so these are Federal Reserve notes. That's why it says. That's why it says on here. That's why it says on here. This note is legal tender. So I said this note is legal tender because this currency ain't nothing but credit, meaning that it's backed up. Why? It's backed up by a promise to pay it. Okay, but it's legal tender because you have to take it, or you'll be jailed or fined if I come into your store and give it to you and you don't take it, you don't accept it. But it's really not backed up by anything because the gold system was taken over in 1971. We haven't had anything to back up a dollar since then. I'm gonna get to that in a second. But the first part of this lesson, the major thing I want you to understand is that this credit here is currency. It's currency because it's credit. That's why I say it's promissory note. All right. When you go into a bank, the bank is not after your bank deposit. That's no big deal. They want to make sure that you deposit money into the bank. They don't want you to reposit money into the bank because they realize that if you reposit the money into the bank, that means that you are getting credit for the money you're putting in. If you don't get credit for the money that you're putting in, then it's a deposit. If it's a deposit, that means you're not getting credit. We're thinking when we put money in the bank, we're so happy about some interest that we get from the bank. Well, that's some child's play. That doesn't mean anything. What we ought to be concerned about is, are we putting this in as a creditor so that we can get credit for what we're putting in? And I'll read you this part of the affidavit as we go down a little bit further. But the first thing I want you to understand, number one, is that credit equals currency. And then the second part of number one, that's 1A. 1B is that the people are collateral. You, as an individual person, you are collateral. You are collateral. You were created as collateral when your mother signed your birth certificate. They signed you over as collateral to the state, to the United States Corporation of America, to pay for this bankruptcy that I just got through reading to you in 1933. So the United States filed bankruptcy in 1933. You cannot file a bankruptcy without trustees, and you cannot file a bankruptcy without collateral. There has to be some collateral when you file a bankruptcy. Something has to be sacrificed for it. So what they decided to do is sacrifice the American citizen. That's why they created in 1868, they created the United States Corporation of America. It came from out of Glasgow, Scotland, and it developed here. It's run by the Queen of England and the Vatican. In 1906, this same company dissolved. In 1925, it was picked up again in New York. All of this, you can just go into the public record and read that the United States Corporation of America is a corporation that was created in 1925 in New York. And the law is USC 28-3002, Section 15A. USC 28-3002, Section 3002, Section 15A. You can just read that. That's common knowledge, or I should say, it's public knowledge. We just don't know it. So since we don't know it, then we don't realize that the United States Corporation of America created these credits. That's why they want to do away with gold as a standard. That's why they went bankrupt, so that they can declare bankruptcy and say, now all of the debt. Well, I'm gonna read you number two. Number one, though, we got it right. Everybody got it right. That credit is currency, and the people, the American citizens, are the collateral for the credit. That's why you want to operate in commerce separate from being an American citizen. And commerce, meaning that you have to have an account that's a trust account. So the trust account will have a tax-free foreign EIN attached to it, which means that now you can start repositing money in the bank instead of depositing money. By the way, I'm giving y'all a prelude to class tonight. Class starts at 6:00 p.m. in about a half an hour. So I'm giving you just a little prelude. I'm going to read you a few more of these affidavits, as many of them as I can. But tonight, if you come to my class, I'm going to show you my check, show you why we made 1.4 million. I'm going to show you why we live, exactly what's going on. And then you can talk later on while we're in the class about how y'all can get to know us and all of that. All right. So, but the class is free tonight. Doesn't cost you anything to come. You'll learn a lot. And I'm going to teach you more about these reposits. And I'm going to show you our check, and I'm going to show you a few things. All right. I'm not going to be here real long because, I don't know, we ate something a couple of days ago, and my body been going through the thing. So let me hurry up and read this stuff to you. All right. So put IMF if y'all want to come to class tonight. Put IMF if you didn't register already and you want to come to class and start in a half an hour, or go to rickthewealthcoach.com and just go on my website right now. If you're not in class, you really don't want to miss it tonight. All right. So go to rickthewealthcoach.com and just click on where it says IMF. All right. Now, especially you all that's on TikTok, because IMF doesn't work there. Y'all got to go to rickthewealthcoach.com. So go to the website, rickthewealthcoach.com. Go to my website and you click on there. It's my website. It's the only one in the world. All right. So the only one in the world that is legit. That's really me. Okay. So just go to the website. All right. But if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Instagram, you can put in IMF and my son Ricky can send you the link directly. But I wouldn't wait around for it. If I was on YouTube, I would go right to rickthewealthcoach.com and sign up now, because in a half an hour, we're going to be getting it in. We won't be live. I won't be talking on here live. It'll just be the class. All right. So let's go back. Let's read the second part of this affidavit. Okay. The United States Statutes at Large, Chapter 48, -48 Stat 112 and HJR-192, Congress was mandated to provide a remedy following the federal government's monetary removal in 1933. Monetary removal. So they removed money in 1933 because they were really interested in that. They created the Federal Reserve way back in 1913, but in 1933, they were like, let's create debt. All right. They say, let's stop having people actually know how much money we're dealing with here. Let's create debt. If we create debt, nobody will know how much money we're printing. Nobody will know how much money we're creating. It'll all be secretive. All right. So everybody put secret debt in your notes. Okay. Secret debt. So they created the secret debt in 1933. That was the point of it. It wasn't because they needed to bail everybody out. It was because they wanted to create a monetary system that nobody could monitor. An unmonitored monetary system. Okay, are y'all listening to me? An unmonitored monetary system, just like it is to this day. I mean, this is almost 100 years. It's 2025 of being in secret debt, where you and I are not made privy to nothing. Nobody explains anything to us. We don't understand. We have no public meetings with the Federal Reserve to tell us where all this money is going, to tell us how it's created, to tell us how to get access to it. There are no public meetings for this. That's why I'm sitting up teaching you when I read you the rest of this affidavit, you see that they were duty bound to do when they created this stuff. All right, let me read number 3. It said the only public records released were a misrepresented corporate policy called House Joint Resolution 192, 2 cited litigations, and details of a credit swap option, and title number 12 for mutual offset credit exchange exemptions. No oversight office, responsible officer, process forms, or instructions were provided. So when they went bankrupt, they didn't provide any instructions to us for the remedy. All right. Are y'all listening? I said they didn't provide anything to the public for the remedy. So to tell the public we're going bankrupt, then use the public as the collateral for the bankruptcy, and then said there is a remedy to this though, so that you don't have to be the collateral. but they don't tell you how to get the remedy. All right. All right. So everybody said, put tell me in the chat. Okay. I'm sorry. Can't so let me do that. Everybody put tell me in the chat. Okay. Come on. Let's go. Everybody put tell me in the chat. Don't, don't let me know that there's something I can get and then don't tell me how to get it. All right. So everybody put tell me in the chat. Come on, start. I want y'all to start making statements that are independent, that a self-governed person would say. All right. Like, don't have something for me to get and then don't tell me how to get it because you obligated to tell me. You the one that created the debt. The debt doesn't belong to me and you. It belongs to the United States of America. So don't create a debt and then don't tell me how to absolve myself from the debt. Don't walk me into the debt and don't use me for the collateral for your debt because I didn't cause your bills. You created those bills. In other words, it's like somebody coming up and running up a big fat bill in your house and then telling you to pay the bill. You're like, no, I didn't run the bill up. I'm not paying your bill. Are you hearing me? Hey, listen to me. It's just like people. You meet somebody, they get close to you and all that sort of thing. And before you know it, they done ran your credit card up because you let them be like, excuse me, like a cold person on your credit card. And then you look up, and all of a sudden now you got a $25,000 balance. And you're like, what the heck? What was you buying? And they're like, yeah, well, they say, well, go ahead on and pay it. You're like, no, I'm not paying your debts. All right. Everybody put in the chat, I'm not paying. Go ahead, put it in the chat. You need to start talking like this. Why? Because if you start talking like this, then you'll start making better decisions. Tell me what's wrong. Then just say it out loud. I'm not paying. I'm not paying your debts. I'm not paying your bills. Okay. And you're definitely not going to use me as collateral to pay your bills. All right. So you say, Brother Ricky, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, I'm reading you an affidavit that was written by my team, my partners, all right, that I work with, that work with me. And I'm just telling you, I'm reading this to you so you can understand what a high level we do this at. All right. I'm reading you this is not some affidavit from some strange person. I'm just reading these are the people that work with me that create our trust. All right. That all my clients and stuff. This is the meeting that I have every 2 weeks, 2 weeks with my clients around the world. They come to my meeting every 2 weeks because they are part of my legacy program. And in my legacy program, every 2 weeks, we train you all why what you do is legal, why what you do is lawful, and why what you do is lasting, and why you'll never go to jail, and why the people are afraid of you. You ain't got to, you got like you don't have to be afraid of them. They're afraid of you because we really know the law. All right. So here's the next number 4. It says the claimant's lifetime taxes and energy were prepaid via the birth certificate bond, which is the purpose of HJR 192. So they wrote HJR 192 to let you know that's the purpose of what? Of the bill, of the law, is to what? To let you know that your birth certificate is a bond and that it was $1 million worth of prepaid um, um, labor in that birth certificate. And that the whole point of it was that all your bills are paid before you even get a bill. You say, what are you talking about, Brother Ricky? All right. Um, all your bills are paid before you get a bill. All right. Anybody that's listening right now, just pull any bill out. Pull a light bill out, pull a gas bill out, pull out any kind of bill right now. You'll see at the bottom of your bill, you'll see an account number. And why is that? If you pull a bill off the proliferated part, you realize that it's what? It ain't nothing but a check. It means that you're about to pay a bill that was already paid. That means every time you pay a bill, you're paying a bill that was paid the first time, you're paying it the second time. So every time you pay a bill, it ain't nothing but gravy. It's like they're getting paid 2 times for the same bill. Why? Because they didn't tell you about the remedy. All right. So you paying twice. All right. So this is an affidavit that's written by one of my business partners that works with me. If you ever decide that you want to be a part of what we do, be in our legacy team and stuff, you'll meet my partners. All right. You'll be able to come to our meetings because our meetings are not secret. They're just private and you got to pay. You got to pay to be in a legacy group. You got to pay to come to the meetings. You got to pay to come to my meeting tonight because tonight I'm going to show y'all an actual $1.4 million check because we're not playing. All right. That I 1099 the bank for. And they had to do what? Give us our money because it's our money. It ain't their money. All right. And I'll show you how to get your money too, because it's not their money, it's your money. Not if you walk into the bank as a creditor instead of being a debtor. All right. And if you file the forms that you're supposed to file, and if you know what you're doing, like we know what we're doing, that's why we got our money. All right. So here's number 5. By confiscating lawful money, the United States took on responsibility for paying citizens' debts as their fiduciary agents. All right. So this HJR, which means House Joint Resolution, HJR 192, is clearly saying that the United States is responsible for paying the citizens' debts as the fiduciary agents. In other words, they're supposed to be the fiduciary agent or the fiduciary trustee of this debt that they created. All right. So fiduciary means that you have an honest responsibility for the beneficiary of what's taking place. That's why trustees run the world, because trustees have a fiduciary responsibility for the beneficiary. Okay. Are y'all listening to me? That's why if you're not a trustee, you're an irresponsible person. Why? Because you have a fiduciary responsibility for everybody in your life that's coming after you. And if you're not a trustee, then you're not a fiduciary, which means that if something happens to you as a person, and you dealing and you trying to leave a legacy to children and families and things you believe in and all of that, if you're not operating as a trustee, the problem with that is that you are not a fiduciary. That means that your money is going into the hands of strangers, and you pretty much lived your financial life for the sake of people that you don't even know and causes you don't even believe in, because that's where your money is going. If you got any real money, if you ain't got another 30 or $40 anyway, it ain't gonna make no difference. But if you got some money and you've been working, and you handling your business, and you're making this money online like we do, or you done worked a long time and stacked up something from some investing or whatever your situation may be. This is the point. The point is that you basically working for nothing if you're not a trustee, because you're not performing your fiduciary responsibilities. Y'all remember that movie Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman in it, and how the young girl had a boyfriend, and how the boyfriend was talking about, yeah, he was rallying in one of the rallies, but he had got the girl pregnant, and she said, "You be quiet. Oh, you be quiet over there. Why? Because you don't even take care of your responsibilities." Bust him out in front of everybody, right? He's like, "Yeah, you got me on that." Why? Because you have a child. You got a fiduciary responsibility to take care of the child. All right. Any mother, any father is automatically a trustee of a child, which means you have a fiduciary responsibility to the child. The problem is financially, we are extremely unlearned. Financially, we don't basically have any trust training at all. Most of us, we don't have any trust training. The average one of us listening right now, and if start talking to the Black community, it's got to be like less than 2% or something of us in our community. I'm talking about everybody that's listening. Okay. I don't care if you're Black, white, or whatever the case may be. This applies to everybody I'm talking to. But because I'm Black, I know what goes on in the Black community. And I know that pretty much we ain't nobody talking to us about no trust, nothing. All right. So we got problems that we got to deal with. Okay. Because we're doing a whole lot of slave labor and stuff just to pass the money to some more people. Like our kids don't even count. All right. But our kids count. All right. Everybody put our kids count in the chat. Our kids count. I'm sure that's why you're here listening right now, because you care about your kids. And you better believe I care about all 10 of mine and all 10 of the grandkids. You say 10 kids, Brother Ray? Yep. Yeah. 10 kids or 10 grandkids. See, you sure look good for 10 kids or 10 grandkids. Y'all look a lot better if y'all had a few more kids. So, yeah. In this new era, folks, everybody's so selfish. They got 1 or 2 kids and they look like they have dead. I'm like, why? Because your attitude ain't right. And we all grew up, kept each other alive and kept each other joyful, kept each other young. You know why? Because our kids count. All right. So let's let me read this next one to you. All right. So that's number 5. Number 6, the Emergency Banking Relief Act made all debts, including taxes, obligations of the United States. So taxes are not your obligation. They're not my obligation. They're the United States obligation. Are you listening to me? This all happened with HJR 192. Taxes are not your obligation. They're what? They're the United States obligation, the United States Corporation of America. They're not your obligation. It's not my obligation. You say, well, don't pay no taxes and you'll go to jail. All right. You go to jail for tax evasion. You don't go to jail for tax avoidance. You go to jail for tax evasion. Are you listening to me? The IRS ain't nothing but a company, just like any other company. They they ain't even in Chicago in the United States. They're headquartered in Puerto Rico, out here in the Philippines. And they got an EIN just like anybody else. And as we speak, thousands of them are being laid off from work as we speak right now. They're just a company, just like anybody else. In fact, a new law has been passed that you can't even go to jail no more messing around with the IRS without a jury trial. All right. That's a new law that just got passed. I ain't got time to be quoting all these laws to you. What I'm telling you is that the reason that people get away with stuff is because they punk you and make you afraid and make you scared because you don't know the law. But what I'm reading are all statements of truth. All right. I'm not reading any conjecture whatsoever. Nothing I'm reading you right now can be what is got one inkling of not being true. That's what an affidavit is. They are statements of truth. Okay. And this affidavit was written by my team that works with me. So I might crack jokes and wear pimp hats and all that sort of thing, but don't get me twisted. We are stomped down like four flat tires when it come down to this money. Ain't nobody tricking us out of nothing. You hear what I'm saying? So if you're interested in coming to class tonight, I'll show you my check. All right. I'll show you my check, $1.4 million check. I'll show it to you. I'll show you how Shantae got it. I'll show you how I talked to you a little bit about how we went from being dead broke and me coming to a career, basically a homeless cat, and how we earned over $10 million. I'll talk to y'all about that stuff tonight if y'all come to the class. So just put IMF in the chat if you want to come in. And let me finish reading this. That's tonight. It's going to start in 20 minutes. I'm not going to be live here talking no more. I'm just giving y'all a prelude to class, and it's free. All right, y'all come in and find out for yourself. Condemnation without investigation is the very height of ignorance, and to ignore what somebody tells you and then complain about your situation. I don't feel sorry for people like that. I'm like, why are you gonna complain about your situation? And you're just sitting over here willingly ignorant, don't know what's going on, and scrolling through a phone and walking around like a zombie, on the scroll all day. You know what I said? Because the scroll ain't nothing but the new stroll. All right. Because the social media ain't doing it but pimping the average person, because the average person just scrolling through here like a zombie, ain't paying attention to nothing, even make no sense, ain't doing nothing that's going to even change their life, you know. And I don't come on here to play games. I come on here to help change your life so you can do something that's going to make a difference in your family. That's my point of getting on here and talking. I ain't got time to be talking to be talking. All right. So, yeah, put IMF in the chat if you want to come to class tonight, because it's going to start in about 20 minutes. And you don't want to close your eyes. You don't want to fall asleep because you don't want to miss a thing. Hey, hey. Y'all don't want to miss a thing, all right? Let me read you a couple of more of these affidavits right quick, all right? These are things that you can't even Google this type, what we're teaching you, because we've been studying this stuff for over 100 years combined, okay? So here's number 7. I claim that a notice of filing to the Internal Revenue Service for Forms 1096, 1099A, 1099B, 1099C, and 1099 OID constitute a discharge under the United States Incorporation, under the United States Incorporated bankruptcy and insolvency. So you say, "Hi, Brother Ricky, what's the remedy to this?" I just read it to you. File form 1096, 1099A, 1099B, 1099C, 1099 OID, and that's what constitutes a discharge. We know how to file every last one of those papers. Did you hear what I said? We know how to file 1099As, 1099Bs, 1099 OIDs, 1099Cs, 1096 cover letters. We know how to fill out 1041s, 1041Vs. We know the entire process. All right. The whole process. So everybody put TWP in the chat. All right. If you want to learn the whole process, put TWP in the chat. If you want to learn the whole process. I can't understand why they won't let me comment on my own. That's really ticking me off. Looking at my own channel. All right. All the people I help Facebook to see. Facebook, y'all mistreating me today. I don't appreciate y'all. All right. So I'm going to bring millions of videos to y'all. Check on y'all platform. Y'all ain't right. I want a public apology. All right. TWP. Y'all put TWP in the chat. All right. The whole process. Okay. So we know the whole process. All right. Let me read 2 more of these to you because I got to take a little break. I don't know, maybe I need to drink a ginger ale or something, Y'all pray for me, all right? I believe when you start helping people, I believe the devil literally attack your body. I believe that because I'll never be sick or nothing, in the last couple of days. And I feel like I'm under some type of attack. All right. So Let's read number 8. Okay, this is real. This is the one I really like right here because this is the remedy that I use. Okay, so under Public Law 7310, HJR 192, and statutes at large 4848 112, the federal government must discharge all public and private debts dollar for dollar. All right, dollar for dollar. Everybody put dollar for dollar in the chat. All right, dollar for dollar. All right, put that in the chat. Dollar for a dollar. So this is what I love. This is my remedy right here. I get my money back from the bank, dollar for dollar. All right. You say, why is that? That's because we make reposits. We don't make deposits. You say, well, what do you mean? Reposit and a deposit. If you deposit in your money, you you don't get the money back. If you deposit in your money, you get the interest on the money back. Man, the hell with that. Did you hear me? What kind of ridiculous relationship is it for me to walk into a bank, partner with this bank, say, man, okay, here you go. Take 10 grand, go ahead on and do what you want to do with it. They say, okay, great. We'll give you 1% interest. Well, I'm like, okay, 1%, $10,000, 1%. Well, let me see, how much is that? 1%. Yeah. Yeah, you can calculate out. See, I think that's about, how much is that? I think that's about, are you trying to tell me I'm gonna get $100 back? They say, yeah, you give us 10,000. Just let us play with it. You're like, huh? Play with it. Yeah, just let us play with your 10,000. All right, cool. What I'm gonna get back again? We're gonna give you let me see. I'm telling you, my daughter's grandmother, my youngest daughter, Ebony. They call her Nana. I just call her Mama. So she was upset. She just went to the bank, told them to give them. She just took all the money out, put it in a shoebox. So she went and got a shoebox, right? So we say, what's wrong, Mama? She said, I just got my interest statement. And she said, what was that? She said it was 19 cents. 19 cents. I was like, how much money did you put in the bank? She said $25,000. I'm like, well, if you put $25,000 in the bank, you should get $25,000 back out. Why? Because the money was debt when you put it into the bank. The bank had the money before you even gave them the money. So that means they was using your money twice. Plus, every time you put a dollar in the bank, they get $10 for it. Plus, they trade it on the stock exchange up to 15 times a day. That's what the bank actually does. All right. So what is that? That means that you're dealing with some crooks. That's what it means. Why? Because ain't nobody having no conversation with you like that when you walk in and open up no account. You got to learn that. You got to get trained about that outside of the bank. Why should I come in the bank, give you my money, then I got to get trained about what you're doing with it outside the bank? I mean, if that ain't just what kind of pimping, nonsense, scoundrel type of underhanded behavior is that? Are you listening to me? And I'm reading you affidavits to tell you why everything that we do is legal and lawful. That's why we can file a 1041. Why? Because we got all this stuff together before we file it. Are you hearing me? And once you file a 1041 with all these other papers I just got through talking about, your money comes back to you dollar for dollar. Later for you giving me, listen to me good. I'm about to show y'all Shantae's check, a $1.4 million check. I'm about to show it to you. All right. If you come to class, if you come to the other, not here online. We're about to have a private class. Okay. All right. And a Zoom. And if you're too lazy to come over there and find out what's going on, then God bless you. You enjoy the rest of your night. And but if you want to learn about this money, all you got to do is just hit a link and come over here and learn. All right. And so not only does she have the money, the money that she put in the bank, because you can do what you want to do with your money, because when you deposit your money into a bank account, dollar for dollar, as a creditor, I should say, when you reposit your money into the bank as a creditor, dollar for dollar, then that means that the money was yours before you gave it to them, and it was yours after you gave it to them. See, the way y'all depositing money, when it's yours when you walk in the bank, but it's theirs when you walk out. All right. Just put IMF in the chat there. Fran, just put the letters IMF. The link will go directly to your DM right now if you're on, which since you're over here on Instagram. Okay. So just put IMF. It'll go directly to you right now. It'll do the same thing for y'all on Facebook. It'll do the same thing for y'all. Yeah, Facebook too. But if you on, listen, my son is sending these links out, and I wouldn't waste time waiting on my son. If you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, go to rickthewealthcoach.com. Just do it now. That's my website, rickthewealthcoach.com. Look, we live in an era, it's so easy to make money now, and we done got so lazy. Man, if I can't just press a button right now, I missed the whole class. You missed the whole class. All you have to do is go to rickthewealthcoach.com, and the class is right there up under all my classes, and it says IMF, and it's free. It's free to come to. All right, and make sure you register and get in as fast as you can, because we got more people on the registry than the Zoom a whole. So make sure you come in as fast as you can. As soon as the gates open up, make sure that you press the button and come on in. All right, so let me read these other couple of declarations real quick. I'm sorry if I don't have my normal energy, you all, but man, my body been tripping, man. I could not stay out the restroom, man. Thank you, Jesus, for being able to use it though. All right, okay. Number 9, I assert that anything the claimant deposits is evidence of indebtedness and owed to them, since corporations are bankrupt and serve as debtors in possession, acting as trustees of the bankrupt estate. So these corporations are not trustees, they actors. Who is a corporation? All the companies you spend your money with, everybody you pay a bill with. They what? They a dead corporation acting as a trustee. So I don't want nobody acting like they love me. I want somebody to love me for real. You hear what I'm talking about? It's like making love to somebody faking orgasms. You dig what I'm talking about? That was so good. That was so good. That was so good. And can't wait for you to get out the room like, ooh, we that Negro breath stink. You hear me? Why? Because they faking. All right. Come on, everybody put in the chat. They faking. Go ahead. Put in the chat, they faking. The bank is a fake trustee. Ain't no real faking like hell. Why? Because you ain't doing nothing for me. How you gonna be my trustee? You ain't doing nothing for me. All right, everybody put in the chat, they faking. All right. Some of y'all not fake. I know. Some of y'all, especially your sisters, y'all couldn't wait to get that brother up out your crib. So hey man, make him think I'm going along with this stuff. You can hurry up and get up out of here. All right. He's faking, all right. But that's the way the banks are. They ain't real trustees. If there's a real trustee, they'd be telling you everything I'm telling you. All right. If there's a real trustee. All right. But they ain't transparent. Why? Because faking folk don't tell you what's really going on. You hear what I'm saying? They don't really doing a faking human. I don't mess around with no fake people. I don't let nobody in my life that's fake. I look at you and tell you, man, I don't believe the stuff you're saying. I mean, give me some facts behind what you're talking about. Everything I'm reading to you right now are all facts. These are all statements of truth. This is an affidavit written by my own team that works with me. And I know if you know anything about this stuff, right now, you are licking your lips because you're like, I've been studying what you're talking about, Brother Ricky. All right. And you haven't said one thing that I haven't already looked up and verified. And you're telling me a lot of stuff that I didn't even know I could verify. All right. So when you hear statements of truth, then you go look up the statements of truth and make sure that they're true. All the laws I just got to read, you just rewind what I'm talking about. But don't you dare make no financial moves and just deal with fake folk without investigating what's going on with your money. But you ain't gonna have none. All right. I'm amazed at how naive people are. Just turn your money over the hands of anybody. It's a bunch of fake Rick the Wealth Coach pages y'all be dealing with, sending y'all fake messages trying to get y'all to put money in their accounts and stuff. Talking about send them $250 and that ain't me. I'm fakes. What I'm talking about? Okay, yeah. I ain't Brother Ricky. Why? I don't. You can't send me no 250 little measly dollars to do nothing. What am I supposed to do with that? All right. I'm interested in you. Okay. You said how to register for your class tonight. Just put IMF in the chat. Starry IMF. Just put it because you're on Instagram right here. So you can be in class in a couple of seconds and come deal with some real folk. These faking perpetrating mocks and all. All right. So let me read this last one to you, and then we're gonna get on over here to class. Okay. Here's the last affidavit. Okay. I assert that the bank used my credit So I am entitled to report this to the IRS using forms 1041, 1041V, 1096, 1099A, 1099 OID. The check reflects the return of my principal for the use of my credit. So I got a $1.4 million check. All it is I'm returning to me what I put into the banking system because it was mine when I put it into the system. It is mine after I put it into the system. It belongs to us. It doesn't belong to them. Why? Because our reposits is our credit. If you're making a deposit, it's not your money. But if you're making a reposit, it's your credit. If you make a deposit, it's their credit. Did y'all get that? All right. I'll explain some more of this in a second. So y'all just come on over to class. I just wanted to read y'all this is just our world that we live in. I just wanted to let y'all into our world a little bit. You normally would have to already been in our program just to see that affidavit. Normally you would have because that was in class Monday. All right. Okay. So if you have any other trouble, Fran, go to rickthewealthcoach.com if you have any other trouble. But it should go directly to your if you just put in IMF, it should go directly to your DM. All right, you all. God bless you. I love you all. If you can't make it tonight, I love you. Have a great day. If you're about to come on over, we're about to get it on, about to have a great time. All right. So I see you on the second class about to start in 5 minutes. Everybody else have a great, wonderful night. And remember that Stella is, the Stella does. I love you all. Looking forward to helping a lot of you. We're about to get started right now. Okay. I'll see you in a few minutes.